To the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one rated sportsbook app out there. I am your host, the amazing Jorts man Rudo himself, joined by Blais Hunter and AJ Haefele.
You're the worst superhero ever.
Jorts man!
I tell you
what's your superpower?
Protector of thighs. And
The thigh rub?
yeah. Look, the Jorts did it tonight, all right?
Yeah.
They were 0-1. Now they are 1-0-1. The Avs defeat the St. Louis Blues 2-1 in an absolute slog of a hockey game that the only way I can continue to talk about it is if we take these shots. So
Let's go.
we're doing this.
Doing this. Let's go.
Some Uller with
Wait. How are you guys drinking this?
straight.
Fish with it?
Yeah, you always eat the worm.
All right, let's go.
Listerine, baby.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. That's exactly the face you take after you take that. It's awful.
Vibes immaculate at the DNVR bar right now. Despite the faces we're making, Blink 182 going on in the background. Very appreciated. We love you, DNVR bar. This was not a good hockey game.
Oh, that was not a good shot.
Fair is fair.
Ruined my whole day.
Oh, man.
It looked like it was going to be a good hockey game from the start.
Did it?
No.
A little bit.
It
Well,
did
no,
not.
with Mac's goal. You thought
lie.
that they were going to... No, you thought the Avs were going to start rolling on them.
You lie.
No, you thought they had him. The Blues looked like they were going to bend over. Well, not a little bit. I guess at the beginning, the Blues kind of controlled the play. Then Mac came down, put that goal in. Looked like it was going to start going the Avs' way. And then it just turned into a crazy game.
Even then, though, like, the game was sloppy for minute one, and it never stopped being sloppy on either side of the puck. And Mac's goal is like, I honest to God, 20 seconds before Mac's goal, I turned to AJ and Blais and said, "This game sucks." And Mac rolls down and scores, and like it's great. But you even look at that goal, and it's like Ville Husso got beat short side over the shoulder. This is not a great goal to give up, man.
Wasn't a great goal to give up if you're a Blues fan.
It was a fantastic goal to give up. It was fine. What's the problem here? No, I honestly, I liked it, man. I enjoyed it. It was a different style of game. And one of the things that I really want from this regular season... That light is really bright. I'm sorry. I really want them to figure out, and what they've done a great job of is finding a comfort zone in different types of games.
Yeah.
And they have not played. Look, for a while they were playing this game all the time.
Yep.
They were playing 1-0, 1-1 hockey in the third period for a while, and then they just started smoking everyone.
Yeah.
And it got me, and that third period against Vegas got me, I don't want to say nervous, but it was like, I think that was a good reminder to them of what desperation on the other side looks like, what it can do to them, and a viable opponent that pushes hard in the third period and doesn't let them just walk all over them. Because, like, the Arizona Coyotes have provided almost no resistance this year. They've gotten a couple of points that they are absolutely thrilled about having, because they didn't belong. They didn't belong in any of those games.
Put them ahead of St. Louis is what those couple of points do.
Well, and I mean the Anaheim games. You look at close games, but like clearly a much better team.
Yeah, nothing really
on
to
one
worry
side of the
about
ice.
on those,
Yeah, even the last two LA games, and LA has been like their Achilles heel for a while, and those last two games in Denver, the Avs, it wasn't even close. Like, they've just been beating up everyone that they rolled in to face, except Vegas, and they even smoked Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah, in game one.
Yeah. And then they were like this close to breaking open the second game and running away with it too. And that third period against Vegas, and then kind of the overtime was just kind of like, wow, what can you do, right? But that third period where they got beat up a little bit, I was curious how they would come out in a third period that was really close, because even though the game last night was 3-2 the entire third period, the Avs dominated play outside of it. Took St. Louis getting a power play for them to get any momentum whatsoever.
Well, last night too, the Avs were kind of ramping it up in the third period.
Yeah,
right?
I mean they dominated the third period outside of the power play.
And this game was a little bit different because it was more shot heavy at the beginning, and as the game went on, it started tightening down a little bit.
Well, and what really I think the Blues did is that they did what they do. They just weren't winning.
Yeah.
Like, they played it like they were up 2-1, where they were like, we're not going to give up another goal. We're going to pack this in.
But they needed
We're going to legitimately keep everything to the outside. And, like, it's funny because a lot of people will say that a lot of times. Like, oh, they did a great job of keeping them to the perimeter and not giving up quality. Well, in the third period, St. Louis did a good job. There wasn't a ton of really high-quality stuff. No. And to be honest with you, this conversation is totally irrelevant if Ville Husso doesn't play a great game overall.
He did. He outplayed Jordan Bennington in the other night. Yeah.
They should have gave him the 6x6.
Yeah. They still have time.
Jeez.
But what I found really impressive about the win is that this is their B- game against a desperate team. They're both tired. But this really drove home the value of Philip Grubauer.
Yep.
They play a different kind of game in front of Gruby.
Yep.
And, some of that is confidence and familiarity and all those things that you develop over time. With a backup goaltender with Johansson, whether it be him or someone else, maybe that develops in the second half of the season. But maybe, we'll see. But, it's very obvious that they are comfortable making a mistake in front of Philip Grubauer.
They trust him to bail him out.
That desperation, oh, my God, I screwed something up. It's just not there the same way. And Grubauer just as calm and cool as ever. And I think that I wrote this in a piece about 3 or 4 games ago. But I think that the combination of Jared Bednar and Philip Grubauer is the perfect DNA.
Bread and butter
kind
stuff
of
there,
at the top, having the conversation, and then on the ice as the back line is the perfect combination of cool, calm, and collected. Just very even-keeled all the time. And it keeps the team, which we've seen in recent years, even with Bednar at the helm, the team has been very
up and down,
very emotionally driven, and some of that was youth.
Yep.
Now that they're a little bit older, but I think now that Grubauer's found his rhythm and that they have found a confidence in him that they didn't necessarily have all the time with it in his Colorado tenure, I think that this is one of their most impressive wins in this huge streak. Just the desperation of St. Louis, the style of St. Louis, the reputation, the way that they won it, the way that not everything is going your way. You blow a 5-on-3, and even then, some of the 5-on-3 that they blow is kind of odd because there are multiple stoppages while puck is still in play.
Yeah.
That sort of ruin the flow of it.
The penalty that wasn't a penalty.
Yeah, right. They stopped play to call a penalty, and then the other officials were like, bro,
he just fell.
That wasn't a penalty.
No.
Guy was 6 feet away from him when he fell down.
So I just I
think it's impressive too. And look, the Avs are on a 14-game point streak, and
to 12-0-2.
12-0-2.
Even had you asked either one of us a month ago when they were losing 3-2 to Arizona and they were out shooting them by 25 shots.
Yep.
And had you asked either one of us and been like, what's your best case scenario for the next month? This was not
It's
on
not
the list.
12-0-2. Yeah.
Obviously, your answer is win all the games, but it's not a realistic best case scenario.
The realist answer is 10-3 10-4, maybe 10-3-1, something like that.
It would have been
but-
like even maybe like 12-2, right?
With
like
real
some
losses,
actual
yeah.
losses.
Yeah.
But as it is, this is just
Well, AJ, you hit on something like, the Avs obviously are at their best when they're playing in that flow game, right? Like, they
Yeah.
are awesome when they are in the flow. It's like, that's when you see those scores where they're scoring 8 goals. This game didn't have any flow at all.
Yeah.
And it was a muck-up game. It was a lot of pucks in the corner, grinding it out, and they found a way to win it. And like you said, like they, the Blues shut it down, didn't let anything come into the middle of the ice. And how did they score that last goal? It was a shot from the point, an outside shot, right? Got a lucky little
just throw it on
deflection
net,
and
throw it on
yeah.
net, take the goaltender's eyes away, and just see how it goes.
I mean, that's big. Knowing how to win in different styles of hockey is going to be
That's-
big when they start going deeper into the
I-
year.
And
Right.
because you're going to play different teams
Yeah.
that play different styles. Right now, they would play Arizona, whose style is to get destroyed by Colorado.
Well, that's-
but in the second round,
That's the
you get
thing.
Vegas or Minnesota, who's going to play a very different game.
Yeah.
And then in subsequent rounds, you're not going
You
to
have
play.
no clue
In-
what you're going to be playing.
Yeah. And so for them to, and especially the Blues, because the Blues are held up as the gold standard of this type of play.
Yeah.
They are promoted and held up as this is the team to beat that plays this style of hockey that is antithetical to everything that the Avalanche are, identity-wise, organizationally, everything that the Avalanche aren't is what the Blues are. And the Avs just swept them.
Yep.
And to be honest with you, like, it was not a blowout. It was not domination. But they also did not have a lot of struggles here.
Yeah. Outside of special teams, the Avs were just fine at 5-on-5 tonight.
Yeah.
Special teams was the power
Play,
looked awful.
their first penalty kill was scary.
It was no surprise that they gave up the goal immediately after that PK ended.
Yeah, right.
it was
Because it was a straight up shooting and scramble gallery. And like they
on the power play though. It was really weird. It looked like the Blues were desperate, right? Like
For sure.
That's what we were talking about. Is like they look desperate. They're dropping 2 guys in low into the Avs zone, trying to stop plays from breaking out.
Yeah.
But they were disrupting the Avs' biggest play, right? Which is bring the puck halfway up the ice, drop it back to Mac, let Mac come into the zone, right? And kind of control the play. They weren't allowing them to have that, and the Avs looked a little lost out there. It looks like they just couldn't set up for the power play at all.
They didn't look comfortable. And their willingness to be comfortable on the power play where they slide into that comfort zone of like, okay, one of us is going to do something insane and we're all going to high five in 10 seconds. And they just don't play with that sense of urgency. Like what St. Louis did on that power play that looks so good is they played with a sense of urgency.
Yeah.
We have to tie this game right now or else we're in trouble.
Yeah.
And they were.
Well,
they were on the verge of seriously getting buried.
Yep.
And that brought all the momentum back around, and it reset. It was a big reset button on the game that they got. And look, credit to Colorado here too, because that's adversity. That's in-game adversity. They had all the momentum. Things were going well. They've spent a month with everything going well. That did not go well. That did not go their way. And they responded exactly how you want them to respond.
Yep.
I think that's the most encouraging part. And you guys touched on it a little bit. A 3-2 win and a 2-1 win over St. Louis.
Yeah.
Look, everybody's pumped to play Arizona in the first round and get 7-1 blowouts. But you get into round 2, round 3, and you're not going to run through teams every single night.
Yeah.
You're going to have to
And they're not
find
gonna-
ways to win.
In a 7-game series, they're not going to run through Arizona 4 games in a row
Right,
either.
exactly.
There's going to be that one game where they push back and they actually show a little bit of spine.
Yep.
It probably won't last very long, but that because you have Nathan McKinnon to just rip Connor Garland's manhood from him again.
Desert dogs, no. They're the Jello dogs because they have no bones.
They-
Do you think now looking after these two games, was O'Brien brought up just for this set to basically be the enforcer on the Avs because they knew they were playing a St. Louis team that's physical. They're a big team, so they bring in a guy that's willing to fight, willing to kind of muck it up with them.
Here's my question to every single person who supports the Avs need the enforcer theory in this hockey game. Remove the Liam O'Brien fight from this game, and is it any different? Because honestly, I don't think it is.
And it wasn't like a game changer for sure.
It was just they got into a scrum and two dudes decided to throw hands properly instead of roughing each other. Like
Properly till the end.
Well, I will tell you, Robert Bortuzzo probably couldn't hear him talking trash after that.
that punch to the
He
ear
got him
was
right
quality.
in the ear hole, dude. I can tell you that's. I don't know that I've ever been punched there, but I've been hit with a puck there, and that sucks.
That's the worst.
Yeah.
Especially cut. Ugh.
Well,
I just
good job on ruining a dude's hearing, I guess. I don't know.
I mean, O'Brien-
temporarily.
O'Brien only played 6 minutes.
Yeah, and you knew that. Like,
Again, it's the same as last night.
Did he play
5?
more than Dan Renouf?
probably.
Let me look here.
There was one.
I don't know. Renouf had the one shift in the
Yeah,
third
that
period
was-
where I was like,
Oh,
he's going to
boy.
break 4.5 minutes.
He did play more than Renouf did. Renouf
Did Renouf
5
hit
minutes,
5? He
18
hit
seconds.
5. Okay.
Yeah.
So more than last game.
Yeah.
Weird
don't get
usage,
it, man.
to say the least, on the defense. There.
I don't at that point. If you're not gonna use that guy, like, is there not a guy in the organization that you want to use?
Yeah.
And if there isn't, is that ever an indictment of the Greg Pateryn, Ian Cole deal?
Do you
I understand it was for money and all that, but also part of the point was that Greg Pateryn could fill that role for you.
Right.
Could not be a dude that you can't play more than 6 minutes.
Right.
That's-
Like,
well-
if you're not even comfortable playing that guy 10 minutes a night.
And if
It's
you're gonna
just,
only
what
if
are
you're
we
only gonna
doing
play those
here?
guys for like 5-6 minutes, bring up other guys.
Yeah.
Let them get some of that experience because
Well,
you don't know what's gonna happen.
Connor
later on
Timmins
in
is
the
back
year.
being healthy. Wouldn't you rather just have
Yes.
him do his thing? And
Yes.
if you're going to play a guy for 7 or 8 minutes,
Comments are big into the Timmins column.
Yeah.
okay.
Are they just being safe with him?
no,
with Timmins? What's going
I
on?
don't want this to come across like I know more than what the Avs organization does, right? Like,
Do it. Let's go.
I don't want this to be like AJ knows more than the Avs. He's smarter than everybody, because it's never like that, and it's certainly not right now. I just don't think that they're comfortable with what they do developmental. I think that they're inside their own little box, and I think that they're comfortable with what they've always done, and they've never had a prospect pool that can push their NHL team the way that they have. They have, in my entire time following the Avs, they have never had a prospect pool full of first-round picks,
Yeah.
second-round picks, third-round, like high picks that are panning out, that are having good careers, that are on a proper trajectory, because they usually blow it at the draft table. And now that hasn't happened, and these guys are showing out and they're doing well and they're performing, they aren't entirely comfortable with what to do with them now.
That's a great point. I didn't even think about it that way.
Like,
Yeah,
they've
yeah,
never been
yeah.
in the position to replenish
Yeah.
talent with talent internally. It's always been, we have a hole, we're gonna go look around the league,
Immediately
and we're gonna
fill it.
we're gonna find a guy that we like. That's how you end up with Jacob McDonald. That's how you end up with Ryan Graves. They have scouts that know what they're looking for, that fit their attributes.
At a
Why
pro
are your
level,
own
yeah.
internal guys not fitting that bill?
I'm gonna go.
It's just a legitimate curiosity to me, because they're targeting these guys for reasons. And we're seeing success. Patrick Nemeth off waivers. Mark Barberio off waivers. You know, Matt Nieto off waivers. They filled the Jacob McDonald and Ryan Graves as AHL trades. They have found talent
Yeah.
Yep.
around the league that other teams didn't either want or weren't willing to make room for. And those guys all ended up playing meaningful minutes for them on some level. And what they have not shown the ability or willingness, really it's willingness,
Willingness is
to do
the word.
is to trust their own internal talent evaluation and development. If you're not trusting your own guys to develop the guys that you've invested the most in, they've invested nothing in Liam O'Brien. So them giving him a 1-year deal at the last minute and throwing him into the lineup it costs them, in their mind, nothing.
Yeah.
It's a contract space that they can get rid of at the end of the year and easily replace elsewhere, right? But
what it's costing them is developmental opportunity.
because
For
when
guys
you,
that actually have a chance to be in the show.
so these guys, how do you integrate these guys into your program now? How do you promote them? Sampo Ranta signs a ZLC today, and it's like, what's the plan now?
Yeah.
Like, awesome. Everybody's excited. Everybody should be excited. But what's next is a legitimate wonder. Because even if he goes out there and he scores a point per game for the next 3 weeks, there's no conversation about the guy getting called up or him being part of the NHL plan. Now, in his particular case, at this particular moment, I'm fine with that. But when it comes to guys who have been around and can play different roles while they're having injuries, you just kind of wonder, like, what's the deal here?
Yeah.
What are you afraid of? Are you afraid that these guys are going to get into the NHL and fail? And then what? It's an indictment of your development program? Or do they lose luster as trade pieces? Because right now they can't be intriguing trade pieces either, because you will not play them.
Is it? Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. That's the curiosity to me is you're not willing to put these guys in your NHL lineup, so are you at least willing to take calls on moving them out?
Well, and how do you value them?
Because where's the line drawn? Because you say, oh, we value these guys, these are our guys. At a certain point, you have to make them your guys then. They have to be your NHL guys.
But are they almost like, are they just being super cautious and saying, look, Avs are winning games?
Caution is death.
Okay.
It is death, but maybe that they're looking at it as like, they're young. Let's develop them in the AHL. When we feel that they're at a good point, then we start.
It's not
locking them into
1986. You can't develop guys in the AHL forever.
Wait. It's not 1986.
I know this is hard for you.
I'm old
Yeah.
as shit, so like 1986 is like the sweet spot for me.
1986 is before I was born.
Really?
Yeah. I was born in 87.
Oh my god, I'm like old as shit out here.
Yeah.
No,
All right, look.
I'm my question is like, this is a great, like, so it's not a permanent promotion or whatever, but it's giving this guy a taste. It's giving this guy a look.
Yeah.
He practices with the team for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Even if you scratch him and you rotate him, there's
He
value
gets to
here,
see NHL
right?
speed.
Yeah, no,
yeah.
But the question becomes, if you're not going to do it now, then when? If you're like, when?
What's the breaking point?
Okay, so now we're kicking the can down the road to training camp. Okay, well, if a guy doesn't win a job out of training camp, then when does he win it?
Yeah.
What
If
more-
he's not an injury call-up then it
Especially-
becomes, well, now we're in the second half of the season, we're in our playoff run, and we can't sacrifice minutes.
There's always an
Right,
excuse,
right.
right?
like, there's
Yeah.
there's always a rationalization for it, and at some point it just has to be like,
But
look,
in the
clean house, get the scrub that only does the thing. Punches faces. And get rid of him and get a guy that can play some actual hockey
Well,
for
it's
you.
the optimal situation here is you roll through your prospects, give them 3-4 games, they come up, get in the lineup, understand the NHL speed, what it's going to be like.
I mean, I
then
think
drop them down.
there's a conversation about
Yeah.
merit here,
Yeah.
right?
Sure. You
Like
good with that?
if that's what they would do, but it's not, because it's the same crap over and when they gave Liam O'Brien a contract, the first thing that we said on the podcast was they're going to play him.
Yeah.
They're going to find
And
an
it's gonna
excuse to
suck.
play him.
Yeah, and the problem isn't that Liam O'Brien is playing. The problem is, what is Martin Kaut supposed to do? He's at 8 points in 7 games in the AHL on a 5-game point streak right now. The dude,
He plays in all situations. for
he
them.
plays PK, he plays PP. The dude literally cannot play any better.
There's nothing that you can
Yeah.
actually
Maybe they're
ask.
like-
And with over 100 NHL games played, it's not like he hasn't been down there working and marinating and all of that.
he has
He has
AHL
literally
games.
checked
He-
every box.
At the time that they called Liam O'Brien up, Martin Kaut had 10 NHL games played. Liam O'Brien had 14.
I think he had 17.
Did he have 17?
I think it was 17.
Nonetheless,
Are you kidding? Wow.
it's not like there's not an explanation of, oh, this dude's got more NHL experience.
Right. It's not like Jason Megna with 100 games
Right,
where you're like,
yeah.
he'll be comfortable.
I'm going back. It's because he's physical. They wanted somebody that would fight. I mean, there's been those situations. I know
So the thing-
guys
the
that have been
thing is,
asked
well,
to fight, and they're like, "That's not me."
The
And then
thing
other
with
guy's
Kaut
like,
though is
"I'll do
that
it."
he'll do that.
Yeah, he'll
He's
do
fought when
literally
he's had to.
whatever you tell him to do.
He plays a physical game. Now he's not like a guy that's going out there like trying to Cal Clutterbuck his way through life. He's not a heat-seeking missile, but he's an effective physical player.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you prefer the more well-rounded guy who can also be physical? It's not like he's small. He's bigger than Liam O'Brien is. And now you've got Liam O'Brien out there doing nothing for 2 games against the Blues. And because they win, it's like, we were right. Look at how smart we were.
With his
We
6
needed
minutes on
a
ice.
physical presence, and we got one.
This is what gets me is any AHL tweener will look fine in 6 minutes. So
Yeah, it would take. You have to really screw things up, like the Sheldon Dries
Yeah.
game last year, where
Right.
he was on ice for a goal
Yeah.
against and took 2 penalties in 4 minutes, and it was like,
See ya.
and that was it. We didn't see him again.
So why not give that 6 minutes to someone who can help you in the future?
Yeah.
If anyone will be fine in that role. I don't know. Anyway, let's reel this back in because as salty as we've been for the last 7 minutes.
Yeah, well, and like I didn't want to get into all of that because
it's good, though.
Well, it's
good.
it's covered.
Yeah.
like it's something we've definitely talked about.
it's what the people want, so we keep talking about it.
Yeah,
but-
well, and it's until they give us a loss to talk about,
right?
like
there's something negative has to be out there.
it's not even like seeking negativity. It's just that we can't spend 45 minutes blowing smoke up their ass
yeah.
This
and
is
being like, they're the best team in hockey. They're so good. Like, yeah, that's true. But that was 4 seconds, not 45 minutes.
Yes. It's a good problem to have. That's the discussion.
They
we're having.
win
That's
too
the
many
issue.
games.
Sorry,
Who
folks.
is getting playing time?
But I mean,
Who's going to be the next guy to get in and be part of the win? He's the designated puck collector after every game. Know your role.
Is that Kyle Burrows music I hear?
I'm all about it. Let's do it. Give me Kyle Burrows over Dan Renouf. Yes. Let's go, former Islander.
Oh, hey, I should have known better. Yeah, I should have known.
Let's go.
Look, the Avs are on a 14-game point streak. This ties the second longest point streak in Avalanche history. They would have to get to 18 to reach their record, so a little bit of a ways to go yet.
Is that 13,
What
14?
year is that?
or
No,
01?
13-14 was 10. 01 was 18. 96, they had 14-game point streak.
So they're they're
was
now
an
in
okay
company with the Cup team.
That was
Yes.
that was an okay team.
Yeah.
Okay,
all right.
Guess it was all right.
it's all right.
Yeah.
Can they trade for Rob Blake at the deadline?
That was so awesome.
Matthias Ekholm time, baby.
Is Matthias Ekholm a Hall of Famer? I don't know.
Well, I don't think that I don't
Yeah.
think that I have an option. I picked the best guy that's available. I did not. I don't think that there is a Rob Blake available at this deadline.
If there is, the Avs should go get him.
Why not?
The expansion draft.
Drop anyway.
All right, this is the play. You go get EK65, and then you give him away an expansion draft to get out of the contract.
Do they take it?
No, there's no way.
Yeah, that's exactly. You're just stuck with it.
And then you're
Oh,
screwed.
that was a good idea.
and then
It
you're
just didn't work
screwed.
out.
Yeah. AJ's face says
Very
it all.
confused.
I'm trying to figure out if there's a guy
There isn't, dude.
that you can even just like over the moon talk yourself
like
into.
somehow convince Calgary to give you Giordano or something. Like
Why would you want him? He's bad now.
you wouldn't.
No,
but
you know what? If you're gonna go to Calgary, get Chris Tanev.
that's like.
I
such a-
understand that's not the Rob
Yeah,
Blake
not
move.
gonna-
That's
They're not
way
gonna-
too inside baseball type of move.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's way too AJ's a fan of Bryce Salvador. Just go get the guy who's having a great year and who basically carried Quinn Hughes last year.
All right. The real play is you prey on David Quinn's stupidity and you go get Adam Fox.
I was gonna say Darlene instead because
Darlene,
Buffalo is in
woo!
full
I
sell.
like Fox. I like
They
that.
don't need another righty.
No,
No, go get another lefty. Go get Darlene.
you don't want to be like. I guess Russia, like World Cup juniors, weren't they all lefties? They had like one righty on the team.
The Euros play the opposite side all the time. Like it's just what they do over there. It's weird. But Anyway, getting back into this hockey game, there was a vibe upstairs at the DNVR bar where everyone was kind of like, you know what, this game needs some Cale Makar magic.
We did talk a lot about Cale Makar magic.
And look,
Yahtzee.
maybe it wasn't the magic you were expecting, but the puck went in the net.
He
did go
broke
into
an
that.
ankle,
Yeah.
okay? Like, that little move that he makes, because when he gets the puck, that guy's in the shooting lane, and that little shimmy back to the right,
Oh, that inside coming to the inside,
that's
to
how
the outside.
that's how the puck got through, man.
Yep.
That little subtle move that he makes with the puck opens up that shooting lane just enough, and that thing gets through. It goes in. They get a regulation win. They have 2 regulation wins in the final minute of the third period now.
Yep.
It
good.
could have been a different story too, because Clifford on that,
Yeah.
he was on the back door there with the.
It could have been. I mean, it could have been a different story if any of these bounces
You
could have
could-
gone differently.
Both ways. You can count them up to goals that could have, should have been.
Yeah, Nazem Kadri on a clean breakaway at full speed.
Yep.
Hey, by the way, was that goaltender interference on Kadri?
Yeah.
It looked like he launched himself into him.
Honestly, like, if they are ever trying to show an official what
That's-
goaltender interference is,
This is it.
That's in the
this
training
is
video now.
straight up training video material. That's as goalie interference gets.
Like,
Oh,
I'm sure he was
man.
going to the box, being like, "No, I was trying to get away from him."
He was like, I was trying to jump
Yeah,
past
go to
you.
the side.
It was goalie interference.
Oh
a
yeah,
little bit.
it was
Just
Soup's
a
goalie
bit.
interference.
Yeah, I
Got the Cale Makar magic though.
got it. You got it from the
and
point.
you look at, again, like a little bit of kind of what I've talked about this whole season. What makes Colorado different? Why is there such a belief from people like me that Colorado is special? And it's because they have the guys that can win you games at any given time. Look, scoring goals is a team effort, and you got to do blah, 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 blah. But you look at the 2 goals that they scored tonight. It's just 2 guys doing a thing.
Yep.
You look at the
McKinnon
3
going
goals.
off, yeah.
Look at the 3 goals that they scored last night. 2 of them are McKinnon just doing a thing.
Over
Like,
the shoulder.
It's
ridiculous.
It's some of it is just the special stuff that you get when you have world-class players, that you can get guys that will make plays like that for you. St. Louis is looking up and down their roster, and it's like, look, Ryan O'Reilly scored for them, but how did Ryan O'Reilly score?
Yeah.
It's a net, it's a
Greasy,
goal
bang 'em up,
mouth,
nonsense
10
kind of
guys in the
situation.
10 guys in the goal
a
crease.
goal mouth scribble on his 3rd whack at the puck, where he's just like swinging away, champ, and he gets it, and that's all good and well, but it wasn't repeatable in this one. It wasn't something that you could just lean on and be like, okay, well, we need this. Here it is. You know, they have to work. Part of what I think St. Louis has struggles with is they have to work really, really hard to score.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you have otherworldly talents like the Avs do, you don't have to work as hard.
Yeah.
You spend all game working your ass off and matching their intensity and their effort level, and you watch the difference be special talents that make special plays that separate them just enough. And going into every single basic playoff matchup in their division, they have that advantage. They will have that advantage in every series, in every game that they play. There will not be a player that can compare to what they get done.
100%.
Speaking of around the division, the Golden Knights lose tonight to the Minnesota
Yes.
Wild, cementing the Avs now a 4-point lead at the top of the
With
division.
a comeback win,
I
too,
still
right?
think, Minnesota with 2 goals in about 45 seconds in the
Oh.
3rd period
Brutal.
to erase a 1-0 deficit, turn into a 2-1 win. I think that's 4-point lead on the Golden Knights in the standings. Vegas still has
Vegas
a
has
game
a
in
game.
hand,
Yeah.
so they could still cut that whenever that game gets played. I'm actually not sure what the lead on Minnesota is anymore.
I
think
believe
Is it 8?
it would be 6 with tonight's win.
Okay.
5.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah, 5. Okay.
and then they've got the lead on St. Louis. I think was 13 coming into
Yeah,
tonight.
it's out of control for their distance to fifth place. Like, it's not even reality at this point. Yeah, they're cruising. 6.
Nice.
Yeah.
Don't doubt the jorts.
6 was right.
The jorts knows all. All right. You're welcome, chat. You wanted this to happen, so you get pale legs. All right.
Man, those legs. There's a lot of leg on the
Look,
podcast
even Nikola
tonight.
Jokic just sitting behind me judging you right now.
I looked it up. It is a 6-point lead on Minnesota.
6 points. All right.
It's a nice cushion that they're building.
Yep.
It is a nice cushion, and I think the reality of the division is that it's a 2-team division for sure now.
I think somebody might want to double check, but I think Vegas is now 5-6-1 against Colorado and Minnesota this year.
Uh-oh. Not good.
So as good as they might be feeling about their ability to dominate California, it's not going to be something that translates much to the postseason.
That's interesting because that's the 2 teams they have to travel for too, right?
Yep.
Minnesota being significantly further, but yeah. Interesting stuff for the playoffs, to say the least.
Things are shaping up, man.
It's gonna be a wild ride to the finish. I can tell you that.
Are we down to tonight was game 37?
37 was
So we're
tonight.
down to 19 games left?
Yep.
We're starting to get close to clinch territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Anaheim should only be a handful of points away from elimination.
I would think so.
I think Anaheim elimination is a thing that we could be seeing in the next 2 weeks.
Are the Sharks right there too?
No, the Sharks have been winning.
Those
They
guys-
passed.
Have they been winning?
They passed LA.
Buffalo
Oh,
could get
wow.
eliminated like tomorrow or something. Probably.
They're eliminated.
but-
No, let's just put that down. They're eliminated.
I mean, they are.
What?
Just not mathematically.
What was it? The altitude graphic tonight?
Yeah,
They had 9 teams up on the President's Trophy.
There are 9 teams with 50 to 54 points right
And,
now.
and it's
yeah.
like this. You guys want to know why they don't want to ever do this format again? Because this is it.
You guys still want Taylor Hall?
No.
We did our entire Buffalo Sabres
Without
trade deadline
mention
video.
him with once.
Didn't
yeah.
talk about him at all.
Oh, interesting.
Nothing to say. What would you want
He's
for him
got,
at this
what,
point?
2 goals this year?
Yeah, and like he's also like one of those guys where his shooting percentage has been like in the tank.
Oh,
And you're
So
like,
it's an
okay,
anomaly.
but when all of your guys on the same team are in the same boat filling up that same list, you're kind of like, I think there's something else going on here.
it's Buffalo doing Buffalo kind of things.
Yep.
So
That city is cursed.
yeah, I'm good on. I mean, look, if they went and they got him at the deadline, I'll be excited because he's a
Totally.
good player. But
Yeah.
It's not super realistic.
it
yeah.
will, and it's like, where does he fit? Like, what are you changing around? And
Who are you dropping out of the lineup to
yeah, like
accommodate him?
their lineup right now has really found a very, very good balance of scoring, speed, skill, grit,
Yeah.
A little bit of everything.
like
sure.
proper roles.
Yeah.
It's really a very well balanced lineup
Yeah.
where you want to be careful if you're gonna
Yeah.
if you're going out and you're getting a guy, it needs to be a clear upgrade. None of the min-maxing nonsense. It needs to be a major
I don't even.
like you drop Sam Reinhart into the lineup and you're like, okay, they
Yeah,
got a lot better.
Wait, this is a good place to plug our preview series that we've been dropping every day.
Yeah. The DNVR Avalanche NHL Trade Frenzy series. There are 2 episodes up so far on our main channel. Please go check it out. We're talking about all of the potential targets for the Avalanche at the trade deadline. We've covered Anaheim and Buffalo so far. We're releasing a new video every single day leading up to the trade deadline itself. So be sure to check all those out. We go through a bunch of teams and cap it off with some of our favorite targets at the end.
It's good content.
I don't want to give away the ending here, but the ending is a little bit like the Avs are really good and they don't need a whole lot.
Yeah.
Don't mess with it.
Yeah,
Is that
to a
that's
certain
where you- yeah.
extent. Yeah.
There's a
That's-
lot of like
Well, AJ, you hit on that, right? Like, there's always this thing where it's like, you look at these, like, like, oh, this is who you could go get. But then when you insert them into the lines, it messes with those lines because if you don't have the right mixture of players on a line, the line's not effective anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you have 3 goal scorers on a line, that's a conflict.
Yeah, I mean, you see it a little bit with the second line this year with Kadri, Burakovsky, and Saad.
Yeah.
But they all score goals in different ways that it's worked out.
Enough. Yeah.
But you did have them, it took them a while to kind of find their footing as a group because they all do want to shoot.
Yeah.
And the one thing that you don't want to discourage Burakovsky from doing is shooting. And when you put him with 2 guys who want to shoot all the time,
Right.
it kind of discourages that a little bit. And then you realize, okay, well, Saad's not like an aggressive shooter. He's more of a, I found the puck in here, I'm going to shoot it. And Kadri is like the real engine there. He's the guy that's like, I got the puck, I'm going to go, I'm going to go, we're going to shoot.
I'm going to go backhand on a breakaway.
Yeah.
True 2C. Also, Rudo, you're getting shit for not drinking that beer fast enough.
Oh.
I've had enough tonight, folks.
Yeah.
I will attest to that.
He gets shit for not drinking enough, and then he gets called Brudo when he
Yeah.
hasn't been drinking.
Like,
The man can't do
honestly,
anything.
like when I get drunk, everyone's like, "Rudo, you got to drink more." And then on shows where I haven't had a single drink, people are in the comments like, "Rudo smashed again." Oh man, look at this guy drink. I don't know how to please you, chat. I'm sorry. Okay.
I don't know how to please you.
Thankfully, this show's not about me. It's about the Avalanche. So, the Avs are a really good team as is. They're a cup contending team as is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, they don't have to go out and do a ton at the deadline, regardless. They can beat teams like St. Louis in close games. They can outwork them.
Now all they got to do is take it on the road.
Yep.
Because them being at home for a month has been great.
Yep.
They got right. They got healthy. They got standings points. They got nice and fat and happy. Now it's time to hit the road. Now, they've been one of the best road teams over the last 2 years, so I'm not particularly concerned, especially because the teams that they're going to play are still bad. But they have to, it's hard. Life is harder to win on the road, especially with fans starting to come back.
Yep.
You're going to face different environments. So that's really like the next test here, right? In the endless regular season checklist of shit to do, things that you want to prove to yourself more than anything. They're trying to prove all this to themselves, not to us. They don't care about us, but they want themselves to know that when they get to the postseason, there wasn't a box they left unchecked in the regular season where they're like, oh man, they've got something on us.
Do you know what the road's going to be good for, or who it's going to be good for? It's our redheaded god, Landeskog. Let me tell you, when you have
Chat. What color is Landeskog's hair?
it's red. Anyways, he's on TV right now. That's red hair. Anyways, let's talk about this right now. Like at home right now, he's got small children, a newborn, so he's not getting that good sleep. Look, when I was on the road working, when my kids were small, like I love my kids, I love being around them. But I got the best sleep on the road. I would go and I would sleep like for 12 hours straight. It was amazing. This guy is going to just blow up these next few games.
How can it get any better, though?
He's going to get better.
It's like he has
Pin it. He's going to get better.
he has as many points as McKinnon in the last month.
Yeah, and it's going to get better now.
Here's the thing: is the Avs have a bunch of dudes like this. Saad just had a kid.
Oh, that's true.
Donskoy's got a pregnant wife. You know he can't handle that. He needs to get out of the house for sure. There's a
Donskoy's scoring everywhere.
Is it Taves' wife that's pregnant too? There's someone else who has a pregnant wife. It's
Taves?
Taves.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's a couple of guys that maybe need to get out of the house a little bit.
They got married and pregnant immediately. They were very excited about their nuptials.
Man,
Doesn't take long.
I have Irish twins, 11 months apart. I also have 4 kids, so I know where they're at.
Yeah, all right. Whoever was saying I bring the dad vibes to this podcast, right over here, okay?
I'm an actual dad.
I can't beat that.
Huh?
I was gonna say something and I just decided to move.
Oh,
on.
Probably
no.
wise.
Let's hear it.
We're gonna
Probably
move on.
wise. So, the Colorado Avalanche, and I think part of the key to this 14-game point streak is they've gotten it from all different places. Obviously, in this St. Louis series, Nathan McKinnon has been absolute nails.
Yeah.
Yes.
You've seen depth scoring against previous teams. You've seen Donskoy be the hottest man on planet Earth. You've seen the defense get involved, whether it be Cale, Girard, Taves, whoever. They're a threat from every single part of their lineup against a lot of teams.
Yeah.
That's tough to compete with.
That's a cup contender right there,
Yeah,
right? Like
exactly.
When you can't just shut down one line and take away, the chances for a team to win, that's a problem.
Yeah.
When your top 6 aren't scoring and the bottom are, what are you going to do?
Yeah, there's no reprieve.
They've got a big test, too, going to Minnesota, who has been one of the league's best home teams this year. And it's a spot, historically, they just haven't been that great in.
Kaprizov is
we're
unreal.
talking... We said, though, there's a 6-point advantage. Assuming that Minnesota doesn't play again before that series, they can climb back into it with Colorado.
Yeah, for real.
Or
Colorado can put them down, basically.
Colorado puts that series away.
Yep.
If it's 6 points now and Colorado walks out of
Turns it into
Minneapolis
10.
with a 10-point lead,
It's over.
Yeah.
they not only have they kind of put Minnesota away at that point, but they're really, really looking at, like, Vegas is all of a sudden starting to sweat.
Yeah, they're putting the division on notice.
Like, I mean, they just did that
Yeah.
with the month of March. Because they played everybody.
Yep.
Now that they've played St. Louis, they've played every team in the division in the last month. They beat all of them.
Yep.
They have a winning record against every team in the division. Like,
What more do you need?
they're on the verge of running away with the West.
They are. They legitimately are. They've already ran away with a playoff spot. It's
Yep.
just a matter of can they run away with the top spot. And they could. There are 19 games left in the season. If they can somehow stay hot, if they can somehow keep this up, the division could be over with 10 games left.
Yeah. I mean, if they clinch a playoff spot sometime in the next 3 weeks, I'd have to look and start doing the math.
The
to see
exact numbers.
when that's realistic, but then they should really start to do the rotate guys in and out of the lineup, rest guys, give them an extra day off because they're not getting those days off.
See some Bowers.
And you don't want to, whoever. I'm not getting into this again. It's just rotate guys in and out. Give a Comfer a night off, give a Jost a night off, and
Jost looks like he needs a night off.
They all do, man.
Yeah.
Like, they all look like they have been playing every other day since the outdoor game.
Yeah. And I'm not crapping on Jost's game. It just looks
I'm just saying, like, they all, like, Sam Girard looks like he gets halfway through every game and needs a nap.
He looked done halfway through period 1 of
like,
this game.
he-
yeah.
That dude, and, like, this is going to be harder on a guy like him because he skates so much every
exactly.
game. His legs are such a huge part of it. You see how Devon Taves conserves the energy and why he's able to do it every single game. Makar and Girard haven't figured that out yet.
Yeah.
And they may never, because that's not how they're successful. They're very successful when they're driving play. Literally just driving the puck down the ice themselves.
Yeah.
And as much skating as they do, this is going to be really taxing on them. The sooner that they can clinch, the sooner they can start to give Grubauer an extra day off.
The
They can
more
start to give
dudes
the
you have
defenders days off,
100% going into the playoffs. Yeah.
even if they're not giving them days off, giving them, playing them 16
Right.
minutes instead.
Yeah.
Curbing it one way or another.
The worst case scenario is that you get so hard up for doing all of this during the regular season that you burn your guys out and you get to the regular season or you get to the postseason. All of the nicks and everything have built up, and
that's the reality of teams like Arizona and St. Louis is that's what they're facing. They don't have a choice. They
Yeah.
have to play their best as much as they can every single night just to get in.
yep.
And already the Avs are at that point where they're going to get in.
And, the Blues are already starting to see it. I mean, they're injury prone right now, too.
They've been beat up to hell.
Yeah.
If the playoffs started today, they're not playing.
Yep.
Yep.
They'd officially be out after tonight's loss.
Yep.
So it's been a struggle for them. Avs have had their fair share of injuries, and they're motoring right along.
We talked about it at the beginning of the year. Every year, there are teams that you think these guys got this.
Yep.
And for whatever reason, whether it be underperformance or injuries or what, like things just don't go their way. And early on, we were worried it was going to be Colorado.
The Avs, yeah.
Right around the COVID pause when they came back and they were just okay. And then they started dominating games and still losing every once in a while where you were just like,
This
they
is
can't-
nonsense.
They're not
yeah.
stringing wins together.
And now
you
they're
know.
on a 14-game
But
point
then they
streak.
get but then they get healthy. Like you rather have those injuries early on in the season.
Well, and like people say that, but it doesn't prevent you from having injuries later on in the season. It's just like how do you think St. Louis feels about that? They would probably,
Yeah.
if they could choose, they would probably take all of their health going against all of the weaker teams in the division,
And
where they
not
can
have this
afford
slaughter they have coming up on their
they
schedule.
can afford
yeah.
to lose games while their guys are hurt against all the good teams in the division as they kind of limp towards the postseason. Now they have to like limp while trying to sprint.
that Blais guy on their team, he can't stay healthy.
Sammy
Sammy
Blais,
Blais?
yeah.
Yeah, he's a little guy.
I don't
He's a
know.
little
I
guy.
know Blais who took a puck to the face, couple broken bones.
Yeah, you know, played the next night. No,
I tell you, as much as we hear about it, you'd think it would have just happened.
Yeah, right?
Do you not have another story? Jesus,
You generated
man.
so much
Oh, you want to hear
sympathy
something? You
on
want to hear?
Twitter.
I wasn't looking. I was just.
I was just,
Oh, I
I
feel
was
bad.
just kidding. I was just kidding.
It just, you know, for the record, it hurt a lot. I also did go home and went to bed and then woke up in the morning and my wife was like, "Go to the doctor."
Did I tell you guys about the Peyton Krebs when he tore his Achilles during his
this-
draft year?
Tell chat, though, because this
Yeah.
story's crazy.
Yeah, so back in that draft year, you know, Krebs was like a top 10-ish prospect, and he tore his Achilles working out leading up to the draft itself. And went to the doctor, like was like, oh, something's wrong. Goes to the doctor, right? And then they go to the doctor, they test it out, all this stuff, and they're like, we think you're okay, no major damage, go home. Goes home, gets up the next day to go to the rink to practice again, and he goes and he tells his mom, and he's like, there's something wrong. Like, something's up here. Goes back to the hospital, and they revealed a 98% tear of the Achilles. And the guy was just like wandering around his house that whole day. Like,
snap that
Like,
thing
oh,
like
it's
a twig.
it's
yeah.
fine.
and he's like, boy, this hurts, but okay, whatever. And gets up the next day thinking that he's going back to the rink to train.
Jeez.
And like, if you guys remember, that's the same guy who got drafted one pick behind Alex Newhook.
That
And
AJ and I adore as a
Rolled,
prospect.
like
yeah.
rolled up onto the stage
No, he walked onto the stage.
and then
like his
ditched
Achilles
it.
and rolled off, yeah.
And like ditched it and was like, I'm going.
Yeah.
And then like, give me that thing back.
yeah, he was like, I'm walking onto the stage, but immediately after that, no,
Yeah,
we're done here.
It was like, that's crazy to me.
That's all.
Look, unfamiliar with the intricacies of Canadian healthcare, but why does that take 2 shots? It should not take 2 attempts to reveal that kind of
It's a
tear.
perfect angle.
Doctors aren't supposed to miss, okay?
You know which doctor hasn't been missing?
Dr. Dubs! Let's go! Oh, it's been good. It's how long are we into this, Cale?
Shit.
They, right? Aren't they? We're already almost 55 minutes into the show.
I've been texting you updates and you haven't been checking.
Cale, I haven't gotten a single text. so,
Somebody's getting random right now. You're at the 38 mark.
yeah, no.
Okay.
I've gotten nothing on anything. Oh, there we go. Now that I've opened Slack, they're coming in. Great. Really doing my job as the host of this podcast. Glad to know that. So final thoughts. Look, I don't think we have a ton to say about this hockey game, but 14-game point streak, where the Avs stand, whatever thoughts you want. Finality. Give me some.
Yeah, it was a sloppy game, and to see them win a couple of ugly ones in a row against the model of ugly success. It's very encouraging. They're giving even the angriest of the angries and the maddest of the bads less and less reason to doubt them.
It's a gritty win. It's a different style of play that they won in. It's awesome to see. And Landy's going off in the next series.
I mean, if he goes off in Minnesota for 2 games, I'm not going to say anything.
If he goes off, don't worry. I will bring it up multiple times. It will be brought up.
There you go. Place your DNVR bets on Landy goals and blame Blais when it doesn't work.
That's right. Let's go.
That easy.
Go with a hat trick.
A hattie.
Go in hard. That's got to
Might
be
as
like
well.
plus 2,500 or something ridiculous.
That's got to be
So,
huge.
Yeah.
Just do it.
Hattie in the first. What are the odds there?
Yeah. The Avs signed Sampo Ranta today as well.
Who? Rambo Santa.
Rambo Santa. Yeah.
There we go.
Minnesota fan is very upset that we call him that.
Why? That's the greatest name ever.
We called him that
If you're a
before.
Minnesota fan that doesn't like that,
Why do Minnesota
DM
fans
me.
do any of what they do?
I'm a
They
Minnesota
already
fan.
don't make sense.
Pretty sure we were calling him that before he was even committed to Minnesota.
He was.
So, yeah.
Yeah, he was Rambo Santa while he was still headed to Wisconsin.
Yeah.
That is by far the greatest name. Like, I love names like that. Not that I know anything about having a weird name, but that's a great
Okay,
name.
Blais. They went,
good.
How did
I'm good on my final thoughts.
Are you you're a fire hunter? Is that your name?
Fire Hunter?
Yeah,
Like,
you hunt out, you seek fire.
I seek fire.
Blais Hunter.
Long story. My first name is my mom's maiden name. Named after the
Yo,
Blazes.
the last name Blais is way cooler than the first name Blais.
I know a lot of people that would agree with that with you. They all live in Minnesota, so they don't count.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all are drinking. I hope y'all have had a great Saturday night.
Yes.
I sure did.
After dark.
After dark,
After
we got
dark.
the jorts out. All right.
There's a lot of leg. Oh, it's can't see.
Next time, chat. We're up in the ante to like $500, but I'll wear whatever you want for $500. You name it, and I'll put it on. All right.
Oh, that is a mistake right there.
It's not a mistake if we get $500. We're not getting it on tonight's show, though.
This is how a boat ended up named Boaty McBoatface. Just how is a child of the internet so naive?
This is not naivety. This is understanding how I make my money. All right. So for AJ Haefele, for Blais Hunter, I am your resident DNVR e-boy, Rudo. I hope y'all have a wonderful night, and we will see you on Monday for a post-game podcast. Until then, we love you all.
Oh, this one was fun.